The project intends to follow a threefold approach. One is technologies, another is diversification options, and then to put in some enabling environment
or policy
to facilitate all these things, including the policy. So in diversification, the intention is to shift some of the area away from rice crop, which is the most water guzzling crop, and to the crops which are more profitable, as well as they are using lesser amount of water. And this year we identified especially three crops. One is baby corn, another one is sweet corn, and then it is basmati rice. And we also intend to push some area under the vegetables. So this year in the next production period we intend to involve some of the farmers which we are targeting, because we are treating these farmers as a family, and we intend to push some of these farmers towards all these crops. So for diversifying to baby corn and sweet corn, we are collaborating with Bharti Field Fresh, because they are involving the farmers under contract farming, and they are pushing for baby corn, and they have also started growing sweet corn this year. So on a limited scale, we are going to move in this direction, and in the same manner, you see, basmati has a lot of export potential. As it is started late, so it consumes a lot less water, and it is more profitable. So we intend to encourage the farmers to go for basmati rice, and there is a huge potential for this, and we are trying to make some collaboration with some of the exporters of basmati who can provide contract to the farmers, and they can buy at some assured prices. They can buy the basmati rice. The similar approach we want to follow for vegetables, but on a limited scale in the next year. And the idea is that when we push some area away from rice, the demand of water for rice is 1800 millimeters, and if the area is pushed to some other crops, the water use normally comes down by more than 50%, and this is a huge water saving. So apart from water saving, we are also ensuring that the income levels of the farmers, they don't come down, because all these four crops which I mentioned, the vegetables, basmati rice, baby corn and sweet corn, they are all more remunerative as compared to rice, so they provide more income to the farmers. So that's the another encouragement. So if some enabling, some contract farming type of structure we come up with, which can assure the farmer to lift the crop at an assured price at the right time, I think we will be successful in saving a lot of water through this diversification strategy.
So you just let me. When we say basmati, this is aromatic rice basically, which is eaten by Asian population. All over the world, especially the Gulf countries and developed countries like USA, Canada, Australia, and European countries. Basically, when we say diversification, the issue comes, why diversification? Since we are also focusing on water use efficient technologies for rice. The issue over here is that even if we put the entire area of rice under water efficient technologies, even then groundwater won't be sustainable. Even then the water table would continue to fall. So therefore there is a need to shift some area away from rice to relatively less water using crops. Only then a situation would come where the groundwater becomes sustainable. So that's why it's important. Diversification is important. The diversification efforts were attempted by the government of Punjab 2 times earlier also. First, these were attempted in the 1987, but then more vigorously with a lot of, I would say, publicity in the year 2003. But these attempts by the government of Punjab have not succeeded in bringing diversification in the Punjab state. We have not seen any fall in area under rice crop.
Why is that?
The issue is, why is that? Basically, for the farmer, his profitability or his income is extremely important for the sustenance of his family. In case of all these alternatives, maybe it may be corn, it may be aromatic rice, it may be vegetables, or it may be the pulses or oil seeds. All in case of all these alternatives, the price risk or market risk is very very high. Yeah. The variability in prices from year to year is much higher as compared to rice and wheat crops. Therefore, farmers are not interested to face price risk by taking up these alternatives, because these two alternatives, rice and wheat, they are so sure that with your eyes closed, you can forecast your income levels. But when you talk about the vegetables, and even in case of aromatic rice, if you take the case of this vegetables, the price risk is so high that even under the circumstances of increased productivity and production, your income substantially falls because of drop in prices, substantial in prices. So therefore, the only method with the help of which we can wean away some of the rice area to under these alternatives is by reducing the market risk to the farmers. And that reduction in market risk can only become effective if the supply chain or the value chain is integrated from farmers to the consumers. And that component is possible only if the corporate houses they come forward and they offer contracts to the farmers for these crops, and these crops they can be exported. But at the same time, even if we forget about the exports, domestic market in India is too big. So we have got, more than 1.2 billion population, and you pick up any commodity, market is too huge. So therefore, there is a much scope if the agriculture products from the Punjab state, some value addition can be done. They can be taken to the domestic market and they can be exported as well. And during this vertical integration of the supply chain or vertical integration of the value chain, even the processors can benefit. Benefit in the sense they can have assured supplies of assured quality, because when they form contract with the farmers, they monitor the entire production process of the farmer in terms of to maintain the standards of the produce. And secondly, when you talk about the market systems for in case of these crops, maybe the fruits and vegetables or other, the intermediaries involved in the market link from producer to the consumer is they are large in number, appropriating the margins too high, and therefore the producer share in the consumer price is about 40%, and 60% goes in terms of marketing cost and margins of the market intermediaries like wholesalers, primary wholesaler, secondary wholesaler, then we have got the retailers, processors, so on and so forth, because the chain is too long. So once these processors they come in picture and the market is integrated, because they have got their own network of wholesaling and retailing rather than coming into picture different individuals. So that way some benefit could be given to the producers in terms of offering higher prices to them, and some benefit can be transferred to the consumers in terms of offering the products at relatively lower prices as compared to the present situation, and at the same time consolidating their own profits also, because having some kind of share in their in the margins which are appropriated by a large chain of market intermediaries. So that way it's going to be a win-win situation, but it has to be seen. We have seen during last I would say 5-6 years that the contract farming has not succeeded, because the contracts are being flouted by the farmers as well as by the corporates. Because what happens when the market price is lower than the contracted price, the corporates they try to avoid the contract. On the other hand, when the market price in the market is higher because of fall in production, then the farmers flout the contract. They are not interested to give their produce. So some kind of long-term relationship needs to be built where the farmers as well as the corporates, they are assured of the prices as well as the supply of the produce. So that's why in this project, we have also involved the corporations, and Field Fresh is one of them. Perhaps this, because still we have got about 5 to 6 months time for the next crop season. Maybe effort is going on that we may have another corporate house which is interested in our project to experiment with the contract farming model or any other arrangement. So that way, if for example Field Fresh, they are already committed. So if some other comes up, then we can also offer the context to more number of farmers where they can shift away some area from under rice to other alternatives and help in saving water, saving energy, as well as improving their income. Because definitely there is no doubt in it, if the price risk is, I won't say eliminated, but if it's minimized within a certain kind of band, then the profitability from these alternative crops is higher as compared to the profits coming from rice or rice and wheat cycle together.